Oh, hi! Have you ever wanted to do something impossible?
And do you like platformers?
Well, then you might like Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair.
Lair. Which is actually from some of the key creative talents behind Donkey Kong Country that you might be familiar with, which means this is a 2.5D platformer. It's a side-scrolling platformer, but it's got this three-dimensional depth.
And actually, you can go into the overworld that's a bit more like top-down 3D that you can move around and up. And so there's a few different...
There's two parts of
and multiple Ds going on in this game. Yeah, it's a multi-D game. The story is you are Yooka and Laylee, who are a chameleon and a fruit bat, respectively, and you get kind of wrapped up in the plot of capital D, an evil bee who has an evil plan to control all the bees with something called a hive mind, and you have to help the queen stop him.
And the graphic is pretty nice, as we already mentioned. It's this three-dimensional depth in it, and it really reminds you games like Mario, Donkey Kong, or Sonic.
But this was actually published in 2019, so kind of updated. It looks like hand-drawn graphics. It's nice. There's a lot going on there. Now the mechanics, the most important thing of any platformer. You can see, the typical moves of platformer.
It's similar to Sonic, right?
Yeah.
The spinning.
You've got your jumping. You've got your tail spinning that causes you to hover. You've got your rolling. You've got your monsters that you want to jump on. But aside from the platforming, I think the most interesting mechanic of this game is the Impossible Lair, which is actually the very first level, and it's impossible.
It's almost impossible.
Well, it's impossible. It's designed to be impossible to do it when you first start the game, because then that would be the end of the game. It is the first and final level. You actually are kind of pushed to go through other levels, and in each one you can get one additional hit point.
1B.
1B, exactly. That's you be true.
Yeah.
We'll come to the puns. And so the more we could call them side missions, but it's the whole game. The more additional missions you complete, the easier the final level is going to be. So you can kind of choose your own level of difficulty when you want to return to the challenge of the Impossible Lair. And when you complete the Impossible Lair, which is the most difficult, crazy, longest level of the game, then you beat the game.
And there's actually two parts of this game. One is, as you see behind us right now, this side-scrolling, but there's a second part that is like in any of these games, like in a Mario, you have this like a map that you can walk on and you select these missions, but in here it goes a bit deeper because you do certain other things, not only selecting missions, but it's more like an adventure there. You can interact with people and talk to them and do some puzzling.
You're actually exploring it to find the next levels and things. So it makes it a bit more interesting. Well, now we're going to come to should you play it, but first you should know that this game is actually free again from the Epic Game Store. It was free before. The second time. It'll be free for a week, starting the week of February 3rd, 2022. So if you catch this review in time, you can go to the Epic Game Store, claim it, add it to your library, keep it forever. And you should also keep us around forever by hitting the subscribe button, because we will let you know about every free game from the Epic Game Store. We've been doing it for like
3 years.
Almost 3 years
now.
Yeah,
almost 3 years.
So stay with us if you like free games.
And you should know that this game takes about 12 hours, depending on your skills, of course.
Which means 24 hours for me.
But should you play it, Caleb?
Well, I'm going first, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Already.
There's
this is live, yeah. So.
There's a lot of positive things to say about this game. And actually, you can hear a lot of positive things about it if you watch other reviews. Because most of the people who review this game like platformers, and that's why they decided to review this game. Full disclosure, I don't like platformers. I don't see the point. I get frustrated by having to always fall off things and repeat things and dying easily, and I just don't like it. And on top of that, okay, you can say that there's nothing wrong with adults playing this game, but it's a very childish game. It's designed for kids, I would say 10 or 12-year-old kids to play. The story is pretty childish. There's so many bad puns. Every B pun that you can possibly imagine is there, and it just didn't hit me right. It didn't strike me as funny. The controls also for a platform from 2019, I found sometimes to be a little bit sluggish or laggy, and the timing and the smoothness of platformer is like the most important thing for me to actually not get frustrated with it.
But we need to mention that you played it on the keyboard.
I played it on the keyboard. Yes, that's important, and maybe that was a mistake, but that's how I played it. I think you can see where I'm going with this. It's not a bad game, but it's definitely not for me. If you're a fan of platformers, you should probably play it. If you're looking at it as just a general gamer and saying, I wonder if that's for me, in my opinion, it's probably not.
Okay, well, I played with the gamepad, and on the gamepad, it's pretty cool. It's how it's supposed to be played. And I wouldn't say I am super fan of platformers, but I like some. I like the good ones. And this one's got it all. I mean, the graphic is childish, but I wouldn't say the gameplay is childish, because you have these levels are more about exploring and less about fast running. And you can do that too if you want to, but if it's more about exploring, going very up or very down, and you've got these power-ups. There's lots of secrets to uncover in both worlds, and there are different bosses and even different type of levels. And I found it very fun, so I'm actually going to say yes.
Okay.
Because I think this is a good game, and if you play especially the Donkey Kong Country, you're gonna be feeling at home. I think. This is a perfect platform, and it's not pixelated, so I am actually glad that we got it for the second time.
Because the first time it was just for one day during the Christmas games, and we actually didn't have a chance to play it.
It was just for 24 hours. Now you got a whole week, so that's perfect.
All right, so let us know which of us seems more like your type of gamer, and tell us in the comments if you are going to give this a try and what you think of it when you do.
And of course, we are all about free games, so if you want to play more games, free games, even AAA games, stay tuned for more.
All right, well guys, that be all. I'm just gonna buzz off now. See ya, honey.
Yep. Really bad puns, like in the game.